Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So obviously to start the spring split regular season, TSM has been one of the biggest stories, even I guess going back to the offseason. Everyone kind of had mixed expectations, mixed thoughts, opinions, feelings of whatever was going to happen for this roster, whether we should expect a slow or fast start, where they should be, X, Y, Z games into the season, whatever. Everyone had different thoughts, everyone had different opinions. It was really the biggest story of the spring split. Out of nowhere, we get this LS bomb on us, and then everything shifts in that direction. But as we slowly move on from LS, he's gone from C9, he's gone from the LCS, he's not coming back. TSM and their roster and their messes that are going on are here to stay. And obviously, they have now been playing with Yursan. I'm recording this before El Asico, before TSM versus CLG today, so I don't know what's going to happen in that game, and obviously what happens in that game could have a big impact of what roster and players and whatever we see going forward. But their roster and who they're even going to be playing, how good they are, how good they're going to be, all these things are going to be huge talking points going forward in the rest of the season, and I think we might have gotten slowly but surely be getting a little bit of insight into what's possibly going on there. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate that so much. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Like I said, channel's been popping off recently. You guys have been showing a ton of support. It's been really fun. It's been really awesome. So yeah, if we keep that up, that'd be great. With that being said, let's get right into this one. I want to start off with this interview between Tactical and Travis Gafford. A lot of people are citing this interview when they're talking about, this might be giving us some good information into what's going on with the support position, what's going on with TSM's roster as a whole, who is the leader, who is the shot caller, all these things that are going on, what kind of issues are TSM having, why was Shenny benched, is Shenny coming back? So let's just see. I skipped ahead to the specific question where they talk about maybe some of this stuff. So I want to see what Tactical had to say and why everyone's talking about this interview, and then give some of my thoughts and opinions.
So you're teaching him all the Twitch lingo. Obviously, this week you played with Yursan, so how was that?
It was a smoother transition than I thought it was going to be. It seems like, I guess since he did play Academy last year, he does have more experience of what maybe TSM wanted him to play. And so, also Speaker and Yursan are friends, and he's also interacted with Tuni. So, in terms of personalities and relationships with the team, he kind of fit in because our top jungle was also friends. It was a pretty seamless transition. I'd say it's pretty lucky.
I guess I have to ask: do you think that we will continue to see Yursan on the team going forward, especially given that it seems like from what I'm hearing from you, the team felt a little bit more cohesive this weekend?
It's really hard to say because after our losses, like I said earlier, we talked a lot, but then we did go with Yursan, so it's kind of hard to say what would have happened. Yeah. So I actually have to say I have no idea. Okay.
So I think that's interesting. Obviously, Tactical is not the coach. He's not the general manager. He's not going to be making any kind of roster decisions or anything like that. But it did seem to a lot of people, at least from the first statement that TSM put out, first of all, they signed Shenny as this big, FPX. He's played some games for FPX. He's this massive Chinese prospect. He's going to come in and be a beast. He's going to be part of our rebuilding for the future. He gets benched a couple weeks into his very first split in North America with TSM. And then the statement they put out is something like, hey, Shenny needs more time to adjust to North America, to adjust to Los Angeles. He needs to get some things under control, and then we'll kind of see how things go forward. And that sounds great, and if that's actually true, that's fine, and there's a world where, hey, he could still be this awesome prospect who does just need some time to get acclimated to the culture, to being far away from his friends and family, to a new place, all this stuff. And maybe there's some out-of-game issues, and maybe he needs some stress taken off him. Sure, that's great, but I don't think a lot of people think that is the truth. I don't think a lot of people think that is actually what's going on. And as we hear more and more clips like this from Tactical, he's not saying, when he asks, hey, do you think Shenny's going to be coming back? Tactical says he doesn't know. And I'm sure he doesn't know. But what's interesting about him saying he doesn't know is he's not saying Yursan, he's still our Academy support, but, he's playing for a couple weeks. Hopefully Shenny will be able to come back in 2-3 weeks, as he gets all the stuff figured out. They're just saying they don't know. It seems like Yursan is the starting support indefinitely, and we don't know when Shenny is going to be coming back, if he comes back at all. And the possibility and the chance that Shenny might be done entirely with TSM. Again, we don't know if that's the case, but it does seem like an option. The fact that's even an option a couple of weeks into this rebuild, into this developmental roster, whatever, is crazy, especially with how big and massive a prospect he was supposed to be. I think when they signed Kaido and Shenny, everyone kind of saw Shenny as the golden boy, the bigger pickup of the two, the potentially monster. Hey, this guy played for FPX. He played on that amazing team. He won games in the LPL. This guy is a beast, potentially, if he can have a smooth transition over to North America. And then also some of what Tactical said is that, hey, this was a smooth transition. Hey, he's friends with Spica. He fits in well with this team. It was a smooth transition. Everything's going well. And like Travis Gafford kind of insinuates from the whole thing is like, hey, this seems like maybe a better team environment, maybe a better team atmosphere, maybe more team cohesion. And I think that's what a lot of other people are getting as well. Now, we also had TSM Legends come out this past week, obviously with Yursan being with the team and all that stuff. And that is a lot of what I have seen throughout the community as well, on Twitter, on Reddit, the TSM Reddit, League of Legends subreddit, everywhere. People saying, man, it's hard to watch that TSM Legends, and it's hard to see everything that's going on. It's hard to see and hear what we've had behind the scenes and think that Yursan isn't here to stay. And again, that is crazy. That is a very, very big update. Now, again, I'm not saying that is the truth. I'm not saying that is what is happening, but I'm saying that is becoming increasingly more likely from the things that are out there. It seems like Yursan is a better fit for this group of guys. It seems like they are better friends with Yursan outside of the game. It seems like he makes more sense in-game. Even maybe, there's a reality where Yursan isn't as talented, isn't as good of a prospect, isn't maybe even as good of a player as Shenny. But we hear people talk about all the time how in modern day League of Legends, it is way more important to have a strong, cohesive, on the same page unit of 5 players than it is to have 5 of the best mechanically gifted players, that the cohesive unit is going to win out every single time. And when we take a look at what people are kind of speculating are the issues behind the scenes, is that Shenny, we know he wants to be a shot caller. We know, we've heard, the leaked calls and all his statements and everything being put out. But also, it seems like, hey, Spica, he's like, hey, I'm the defending MVP. I'm supposed to be the leader of this team this year. I'm supposed to be stepping up. I want a shot call. And it seems like, hey, Hooney and Spica have a great relationship, and they're on the same page about a lot of things, and they've played together before. Hey, Tactical and Spica have a great relationship. They're on the same page. They have played together before. They are doing a lot of the same things. And then you have Shenny, who doesn't have as great of a relationship. They haven't played with these guys. Maybe they're not on the same page in terms of the shot calling and everything. So if you have 3/5 of the team potentially all on one page, and you have Shenny on this page, even if he has the better shot calls, even if he is the better player, even if he has a lot of these things going on, if he's butting heads with the essentially the team captain or the face of the franchise in Spica, and Yursan is there, and everyone just he just gels better. And I know there's all these speculation and things about how Shenny has cluttered comms, and he literally just talks the entire game, he micromanages, and even though he's very vocal and talking all the time, that doesn't make his shot calling good, or that doesn't make it right. And then there's criticisms about Spica's shot calling as well, and how good or bad that is, or whatever. But it clearly seems like Spica and Shenny are not on the same page in terms of shot calling, in terms of gameplay, in terms of a lot of things. And it also seems, again, from TSM Legends, from this tactical interview, from a lot of the stuff, we're only getting to see tidbits behind the scenes. We're only getting to see what they show us. But even from what they're showing us, which, there's a lot we're not seeing, obviously, it seems like Yursan is a much better fit. It seems like Yursan is the guy for this team right now. And how long is Shenny going to stay in TSM Academy? How long is he just going to sit on the bench when he is this big hyped up prospect, when this guy was just playing games for FPX last year? I don't know. It all becomes a mess. It all becomes pretty crazy. And the future is just a giant question mark for TSM right now. But I am hearing more and more people saying, hey, there's a chance Shenny may have already played his last game for TSM, and I think that's kind of crazy, and I don't know, I don't think that's too far of a reach at this point. Obviously, it's possible we see him come back, but I do think it is looking less and less likely. TSM has a couple big games coming up the rest of this weekend. Obviously, probably by the time this video comes out, they'll have already played CLG, and then they have Team Liquid. That'll complete their first round robin. Obviously, they're 1-6 right now. Things are not going great, so maybe it's time for a change anyway, and like I said, who knows what this means for TSM, Yursan, Shenny, any of these guys going forward. Not only the rest of Spring Split, not only the rest of 2022, but then even thinking ahead, look like, okay, if TSM's not going to do anything meaningful in 2022, that seems fairly likely at this point. What is this team and roster going to look like in 2023? What's about to happen now? I don't know. This is definitely going to be a big story we're going to keep following, obviously. So definitely drop a like if you guys did enjoy this video. I would appreciate that a ton. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Shenny has played his last game for TSM? Do you think we're going to see him back? When do you think we're going to see him back? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then.